All right, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I'm back with another video here. I'm pumped, man. I mean, this is, look, this team needed this win. This was a really big win, a really good game. Flyers dominated most of it. A 3-2 win against the Montreal Canadiens in a shootout. Jamie Drysdale's first game as a Flyer, he records a point, 2 shots on goal in 19 minutes and 46 seconds of ice time. He looks very good. We'll talk about him in a minute here, but this was a really good win for this Flyers team. I mean, they first of all, you needed to win. You needed to come out after the game against Pittsburgh and, get points, right? If they don't, go to a shootout against Columbus and they close that one out, that's 6 out of a possible 8. They get 5 out of a possible 8 on this homestand out of the 4 games, 5 points out of the possible 8. So it's good, and I think it's a better way to end it instead of 3 or 4, right? Points is everything. Obviously, from 3rd to 7th, it was basically a 2-point gap. The Flyers now with 48 points, 21, 14, and 6. This was also game 41. So this is the halfway point, and it's good to see. You get a win in game 41, and now you got to see how you do in the second half. Flyers went with 11-7 tonight, obviously because of adding Drysdale to the lineup. You have a mix of a lot of defensemen that have played well. I mean, you can't really. It's hard to really sit a guy. I mean, the pairs were kind of all over the place all night. Sanheim was with Drysdale at times. York was with Drysdale. I did see York with Risto. I saw York with Walker, Sealer with Walker at times, Amula with Walker and Risto. I mean, it just changed all night. And the one thing was, at least it seemed like at least one guy was at least rotating with another 2. So again, like I said, so Sanheim and York kind of rotated with Drysdale for most of the night, stuff like that. The offense was a little bit in a blender for the most part outside of the Farabee, Couturier, Konechny line. The lines weren't really the same all night. I will read them to you, though. It was Farabee, Couturier, Konechny, Forrester, Lawton, Hathaway, Tippett, Frost, Atkinson, Paling, and Brink. Again, 11 forwards. And then the 7D, Sanheim, Drysdale, Sealer, Risto, York, Walker, Zamula, and then Sam Ersson was in net. Ersson was good. I mean, the Canadiens... I mean, I think that's why this game looks even better for the Flyers, because you come back from a 2-0 lead. The Canadiens, their first 2 shots go in. Barron scores. At least I thought Barron scored. Then it was deflected by Monahan. So 1-0. I'm just like, all right, it's like a minute and a half in. It's a really good tip. No one picks up Monahan's stick in front, and Tippett tried the cross check, left the stick kind of right there, and Tippett was fantastic tonight. I thought the second goal, he was a little late kind of getting there. I don't know if he expected Savard to shoot, but he did. It's 2-0, and I'm like, all right, here we go, because the Canadiens just had a power play after the Flyers killed it off really well, and I'm like, they had the shorthanded chance from Paling. I'm like, all right, let's get through this. 2-0, and then they said it was Slafkovsky. It's credited to Savard as of right now. Went off Frost and in, and I'm like, all right, this is just, and it felt like for the first couple of minutes there, the Flyers were really trying to pass the puck into the net, and they didn't have a ton of room in the neutral zone, and then they get the goal from Tippett. It's 2-2 games from him. His 14th on the season. Tippett, I think this is a good time for Tippett to start waking up for sure. I've seen some trade rumors about Tippett and everything else. I wouldn't do that right now. He's certainly not a guy that I would look at as expendable. I think he's, I think there's a lot of other guys struggling right now for me to sit there and say, yeah, Tippett's struggling a lot, we should trade him. Like that, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Brink is struggling, Lawton is struggling offensively, Forrester is struggling offensively. I mean, and those aren't the only guys too. I mean, Atkinson, right? So it kind of goes throughout the entire lineup. They needed some more middle 6 guys to keep scoring. And they ended up getting that tonight. Tippett gets one. Frost gets one on the power play here in the second period. The Flyers had a dominant second period. If you were looking at shots on net, essentially for where this was for the Flyers up until this point, they went through this game, and I'm trying to pull it up here on my phone. The NHL, can I just say something real quick? The NHL app is so bad. I mean, I have been searching on this thing the entire night to try to find something. It is horrible. Anyway, Canadiens had 2 shots the entire first period. Urson really didn't see the puck a ton. They had 1 shot in overtime to the Flyers 7, 15 shots in the third for the Flyers. The Canadians with 10, they had 6 in the second, Flyers with 7. I mean, the Flyers had a ton of more zone time. They dominated. Again, they had a ton of chances, 39 shots to the Canadians, 19 for the Flyers on the night. And, again, like I said, I mean, they really dominated most of the second period. Farabee had a chance in tight off the pass from Konechny. There was a play from Tippett. He was buzzing. Caulfield had a chance in tight, nice save by Urson. Ristolainen hit the post. That was 4. Tippett hit one before that. Or it might have been after that. I can't even remember. There were so many of them. I mean, Farabee had a chance right in the crease, rolled at the line, doesn't go over. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Power play, delay game on the Canadians. Drysdale, man. I love again, the thing with Drysdale that I love the most is how much ice he opens up. So much of the Flyers power play in recent years has been a lefty on the right flank to a left-hand point shot. And when you have a left-hand point shot, it can only really go through one guy. I mean, there's really one easier pass. Just the way the angle is, a lot of the time, if it's coming up the right wall, they got to play it on their backhand, all that stuff too. Like, there's a lot of little things that play into the handness and all that. A right-hand quarterback, I mean, Drysdale's so good laterally with his feet, like Torts was mentioning that. Obviously, so good side to side, edge work, the whole thing. Sets it up for Frost. Frost is so good with the double clutch. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, when it works, you really know. And tonight was obviously one of those ones where it worked, and gets it through, good screen. But again, it's all about the opening ice from Drysdale to me. And again, it's just one of those little tweaks. It's one of the little tweaks that can, a guy like that can really change with your power play. And again, the smoothness across the blue line sets up Frost. And a guy like Frost who can shoot and has a good shot, he's not going to miss many of those. So the Flyers tie this game at 2. It's really all Flyers again up until this point. They get a power play, Konechny draws one. Couple of looks, nothing crazy. It was pretty good puck movement, but again, it wasn't anything like the last one. They were just dominant. I mean, they were all in the Habs in for most of the period. We go into the third. It was back and forth. Tippett hit the crossbar. Canadians, essentially, I thought were playing for overtime. I mean, it felt like every single time the Flyers had a forechecker right on them, or a back checker if they were going through the neutral zone. They would get the puck right back, send it up with the D. First line was playing a ton. That Tippett, Couturier, and Konechny line, they were on the ice for like a ton of this game. Even Farabee, I mean, like I said, like whoever really switched, like Tippett was up there sometimes, then it was Farabee. It kind of changed most of the night. They went through a bunch of different things. Tippett dangles in, great pass by Frost. It was a really nice breakout by Frost to set it up the other way, and then Tippett, really nice dangle. Anderson was stoned the other way by Urson on a partial breakaway. Excuse me. Atkinson had a shot late and tight. Flyers again, they just played the entire period in the Canadians' end, and it was good to see. I mean, the overtime was dominant for the Flyers too. They had, again, 7 shots. Canadians had 1. It was the Anderson breakaway late in overtime, around under a minute or so. And you're going through, and I'm thinking to myself, like, all right, like, this game kind of settling down here. It just felt like a win. I wasn't worried. I was like, they're going to end up winning this game. And he hit 5 posts. The amount of shots they had, the amount of zone time pressure, forced turnovers, forced chances the Flyers were creating, I'm like, there's no way they lose this game. And Frost has a breakaway. He misses. What a pass by Drysdale. Again, we'll get to him in a minute here. Konechny stripped. Really good recovery by Drysdale there. Lawton had a chance the other way. Before that, Anderson, like I said, the chance late. Sanheim, he almost scored. Drysdale had 2 shots in overtime as well. That's where his 2 shots came. The shootout, Coots goes in and scores. Urson waits out Suzuki. Konechny hit the post. That would have been sweet. Caulfield was stoned by Urson. Brink just missed on the backhand. And then Yolainen, I believe I said that right, or Yolainen, I apologize for the mispronunciation. He misses. He had Urson dead the rights and missed the net. I don't know if Urson got a piece of it with the glove. I don't think he did. But hey, you'll take it. The Flyers will take it. I will certainly take it. The plan for this game, and I tweeted this earlier, score more goals than the other team. And I know I'm not saying that like as being serious. I hope someone please doesn't take it that way. I'm literally just saying that to joke around, and just poke fun. And like obviously that's a joke, right? Like, so again, that was the plan for me, was just score more than the other team, win this game, find a way to win. And the Flyers did it in a really good fashion. Now, here's the fun part. Let's talk about Jamie Drysdale. So Drysdale, he gets the opening shift. His parents are there. It's a really good thing to see, right? I think the one thing that I really noticed was the really quick decisions at times. I did really like that there was one play that really caught my eye in the first period. The Flyers had a chance in front of the net, and it was just like a really quick give and go right away. It was Drysdale straight over to Sanheim, and he ended up cutting in, and it ended up Sanheim ended up going down the left wall, and it kind of fizzled out a little bit. The Flyers had a chance in front of the net, but it was little things like that: the stretch passes, the skating, the covering of the ground. I mean, he's such a good passer. He had the lob play in the last maybe 25 seconds of the second period up the ice to Couturier. He set it up for Farabee. Farabee went to pass it back, deflected out of play with a really good stick. I believe it was Matheson for the Canadians. And then in overtime, I mean, he makes the pass to Frost. I mean, it's a dart of a pass. I mean, it's a fast, hard, right on the tape. It rolled on Frost because of how fast it was, and he kind of just said, fire at the net. I think he was trying 5-hole, but it ended up going right into Primo's chest there, right into, and just swallowed it up. And unfortunately, Frost didn't end the game there, but. And again, the goal. I mean, he sets it up. He, walks across the line. It's just a little things like that. And look, it's definitely gonna this isn't gonna be like this all the time, right? There's gonna be hiccups and bad defensive plays, whatever. I didn't really see much of that tonight, honestly. I didn't see any plays where he was like totally out of position or anything like that. I thought he had a really solid game for coming in. I mean, for coming in on a flight yesterday at 5:45 in the morning. Preparing to go on a 2-week trip in Nashville, right? Get traded, the whole thing. You go through all that, the initial shock. Then you get on a flight, you come to practice. You're the last one off the ice at practice. Your parents come, you're able to see them. You come in, you play. Today's like a whole video day. You essentially switch from man-on-man coverage to zone coverage, and he comes in and he just played solid. Like, it was really good to see, and it really makes me feel better about the Gauthier thing because it's like initial. It's an initial, you're seeing it right now. Like, we don't have to wait. Like the Ducks, obviously they have to wait because Gauthier hasn't signed and he's still in college, right? The whole thing. But it's really good to see because it's a guy who genuinely you can just tell is going to be a player, and to have him on contract for the next 2 seasons after this one. And then again, he's still really young, 21 years old. Like, it was a really good debut for Jamie Drysdale tonight as a Flyer. And, he definitely stood out for sure. It would have been sick. I wish Torts had put him in the shootout instead of Brink, to be honest, just for the storybook to maybe see if he'd score. I don't know if he's good in shootouts. I never really looked that up or paid attention to it. It would have just been something that I'm like, all right, maybe they do that, just to kind of give him a little bit of a bump. But they go with Brink, and who he's had a little bit of success in the shootout this year too. So again, I mean, really solid game around all around. And let me know your guys' thoughts below on the obviously the whole game tonight and also Drysdale. Thanks everybody again for all the support. As always, make sure to check out Maher Media for all the stuff that we do. And my name is Chris, and I will talk to you all again soon.